Welcome to Quantum Finance. My name is Parker. I am the head trader here, but I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. So today, I want to make a charting video. I want to go over how to chart like a pro and all the setups I have on my TradingView and Thinkorswim trading softwares. So we're going to start here with TradingView because it's usually how I start my market recaps with TradingView. So we'll just kind of take the same format as I do with my market recaps. So TradingView here, I do have the pro version. I don't remember exactly how much it is. I think maybe like $200 a year or something like that. I'm not telling y'all to buy it. Like, you don't need it, but I'm definitely glad I invested in it. So when it comes to like how I like to use my charts on TradingView, if you've watched any of the market recaps, you're probably pretty familiar with it, but I want to go a little more in depth. So I like to have a two chart setup when I'm doing just like basic analysis, like overviews. So usually on most charts, not all charts, but most charts, I use the weekly on the left and the dollar on the right. And then for the indicators, we're using the 20 EMA, Bollinger Bands, MACD, and Stock RSI. So that's going to be basically the same four indicators that I like to use for most of my TradingView charts here. As you can see, weekly, daily, same indicators here. Now, going into crypto, there's something I want to note about how you need to set up crypto charts, right? So let's open the weekly here up a little more on Bitcoin. Just get rid of these indicators, clean the chart up a little bit. And we're going to zoom out to the monthly. So you see on the monthly chart for Bitcoin, this is like how it looks, right? But if you look down here, I have it on log scale. So what log scale is, it takes into effect percent change into the calculation or like the display of the data itself. So like watch, if I take it off log, you see how different that looks, how much crazier, like less it's just a lot harder to analyze when it's like this. So for assets that have large price per like percent changes, especially if you're looking back farther in time, you're going to want to use it on log scale, right? It just makes us so much easier to look at and understand and how to chart it. So like, I want to show you the difference here on the S&P 500, how the log and the normal scale looks. So we'll go here, open this up, go to a monthly. So here is your S&P 500 SPY ETF on a monthly chart. As you can see, this is how it looks like. You have your pullbacks during your recessions, and then you just have your parabolic rise. But watch when I turn it to log scale, right? It looks much different. These recessions look much more dramatic, and this rise looks a lot steadier and more gradual of a rise than this more parabolic look. So yeah, I'd say when you're looking at larger time frames, because like over a longer period of time, there's going to be a larger percent change in an asset's price. You're going to want to use like log scale, right? Like another example of this is we'll go down here to Tesla. So if you have Tesla just on normal scale here, you see it just like looks like just nothing, and then just all of a sudden boom town, right? But if you go to log, it makes a lot more sense, right? You can analyze these charts much easier than you could if it was not on log scale. See, it looks like nothing. So yeah, that's just something I wanted to note with TradingView, and when you're doing your analysis, especially on high volatility assets, and longer time frames. So let me just get these charts back to how I like them. Yeah, I think that's basically it for TradingView. Oh wait, one more thing. When it comes to commodities, when I'm doing analysis on commodities, these don't really move as much compared to other assets. They do move a good bit, like they can move a good bit. But on the left, I don't usually like to look at weeklies. I like to look at monthly trends. Let's see here. I don't know, like I mean, the weekly, you can definitely keep looking at the weekly and use the weekly chart. But when I'm just doing my analysis, I like to use the monthly on commodities. I feel like it just gives me a better idea of, you know, how, where we're at on the chart and the ranges and everything. So now we're going to go to my actual day trading setup. So something I want to note here to start off before we get more in depth into this pro trading setup, I want to break down. I want to say that I have 4 trading monitors, right? That's a lot more than probably most of you have. Most of you probably have 2 or 3. If you only have one, to be honest, trading is going to be very difficult. I'm not saying you can't make money with one, but I'm saying it's going to be extremely, extremely hard if you're using one monitor. Because the pure amount of data and analysis that you have to do requires more than one monitor. Ideally, you're going to look at 3 to 4 monitors, but you could probably get away with just 2 or 3. But so I have 4, and I want to kind of break down how I set this up. So this is my trade screen. I have this on my left monitor. These two are my analysis screens, right? So this is my shorter time frame, 15, 30 minute, 1 hour, 2 hour. I have this on my middle screen. And then above that middle screen, I have the longer time frames with the daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly. So directly in front of me, I have 2 monitors stacked, which I have with just my pure analysis. So it makes it very easy just to look at the general picture of a stock and do a quick analysis on that. And then this, I haven't really gone over this in many of my other videos. This is just kind of like a watch list tab I have. I have the 4 main ETFs that I like to watch that cover the sectors here with the SPY, Qs, energy, and financials. These are just ones I'm the most interested in and I like to see, and I like to understand the relativity between these two. You definitely, when you go to make a trade, especially an options trade with the SPY, because that's usually what most people use to just trade general market conditions and moves, you're going to want to look at the relativity between the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. So say the NASDAQ or the S&P 500 is at resistance and you think you want to short it, but the NASDAQ is at support, it's probably not the best short because your NASDAQ is at support. Your best trades are going to be when these line up, right? When the SPY is at resistance and the NASDAQ is at resistance for a short or support for a long. Yeah, you get it. You're just definitely going to want to watch the relativity between these two before trading either. So yeah, that's just what I want to go over with that. So now we're going to break each chart down, my indicators, and everything like that. So I will make a video on advanced volume, how to get advanced volume into your chart, and I will link that in the description. But as of now, yeah, we'll go over this in another video of how to get this indicator. So on the 5-minute chart, we have our volume, we have our TTM squeeze, we have our MACD, and we have our stock RSI. And for most of my charts, I use a flexible grid setting here. And I have 2 separate grids. This active trader is its own grid, and I pretty much just deleted the chart and everything else and just put the active trader in its own grid. But yeah, let's break down these indicators. So these are the indicators. I'm more or less going to use these on most charts. All my charts aren't the same, but this is going to be like a lot of the general settings that I have. We'll go through most of them. I'm going to actually go through all these pretty quick, so feel free to pause the video as needed or slow the video down or just do what you need to do. But I'm not going to spend too much time on each one because I don't want this to be an extremely long video. I just want to note here, Amazon getting a trade-line VWAP cross up through the 50-day moving average. Anyway, so we have your daily high and low. So what this does, it plots the previous day's high and low on your chart. So let me just zoom out so I can show you. So you see all these lines I have here. What this does, it goes to the next day and it plots the previous day's high and low. So you see yesterday, this was yesterday's high, it plotted the high on the chart for me. And this was yesterday's low and it plotted the low. And as you can see, we're in today. It's already plotting the range for tomorrow. So what that does, the reason I like that indicator so much, it definitely like lets you know when you're in breakout or when you're in inside days. It's just a very significant level to use is previous days highs and lows. And then daily open, what that does, it just plots a blue line across your screen at where the stock opened for the day. So then we have the daily 50, daily 100, daily 200 on the chart. So what this does, you can see here, it plots the daily moving averages on your intraday charts. So personally, in my preference, I don't like using daily moving averages on my daily charts. I don't like putting the 50, 100, and 200 moving averages because I just feel like it complicates the charts more. In trading, you just want to keep it as simple as possible. But I do realize that those moving averages are vital pieces of information that you need to have when you're trading. So I plot these on my intraday charts, so you can see these here. These do show up on all the charts. So like look at the SPY, for example. You see the green is the 50, the gold is the 200, and the purple is the 100 moving average. But on the daily chart, you can see here I don't have them on there. So going back to the indicators I use, we have VWAP, which is your volume weighted average price, which is that purple line you see on the screen. I want to note with VWAP that when you do put this on your charts, it is going to have twos here, a -2 and a +2. You just want to go into settings here. And you're going to want to change these deviation ups and downs to zeros. And then I have a 9 EMA, which is this blue line. And then we have Bollinger Bands going out to the second standard deviation, which as you can see are the dashed bands here. Advanced volume bars, we'll make a video for how to do that. Then we have the TTM squeeze, the MACD, and the stock RSI on the lower parts of the chart. So yeah, that's my 5-minute setup. I'm just gonna run through the other time frames real quick to show you how I have it set up. See, this is the part where you can feel free to pause because I'm just gonna run through all my chart setups real quick so you know exactly how I do it. For basically on the lower time frames, they're gonna be the same, but once I start getting up into the higher time frames, they are different. So yeah, it's pretty similar except for like on the lower part, we're only using the stock. And the reason I'm only using the stock on these is because these lower indicators do take up a lot of room. And for these charts, I do like getting more just like pure price action than these indicators. And in my personal opinion, the stock RSI is the fastest indicator. Like the other indicators have much more lag than the stock RSI. So personally, I just think the stock RSI is the better indicator to use if you're going to use a lower type of trending momentum indicator on your charts. Yeah, so yeah, same setup here as the 15-minute. I'll go to the 1 hour. As you can see, we do not have the VWAP on the 1 hour. TTM trend, I'm not sure why that's on there. We're actually going to take that off. Yep, so pretty similar there. We're going to go to the 4 hour, or the 2 hour, excuse me. And as you can see, I do not have these highs and lows on the 2 hour chart because I want to keep this chart cleaner for longer out and larger time frame analysis. I don't know why these TTM trends are on here. They're not even showing up on the chart. Sorry for that. But yeah, pretty much the higher the time frame goes, the less indicators I am using. And then finally, we're going to go zoom all the way out. Look at our daily chart here. As you can see, much less indicators than the smaller time frames. Here's our weekly chart. And then I do actually have on these monthly and quarterly, I actually do have moving averages on these charts. So we have the 8, 20, and 55 EMAs on our monthly chart. And on our quarterly chart, we have the same. So, I'm trying to think here. Yeah, that's pretty much all the indicators I use and the chart setup I use. I mean, it's pretty obvious, but I will state it that I like to use the 4 chart on each one. When it comes to like the grid, I think the 4 chart is the most balanced way to do analysis on charts. Because if you try to do it in any other way, to me, I don't know, I've just been using this for over 5 years, this kind of setup. So any other setup just kind of just doesn't look right to me. But I do advise using the 4 chart analysis setup when it comes to doing your analysis on the charts. But yeah, that's a lot of what I wanted to cover. I could go over some appearance things real quick. So I just have the fill up, fill down. I have the grid taken off. I have the background as just black. Volume bars, this isn't really applicable because I have the advanced volume bars on there. We'll just run through some general settings. Not really too much I wanted to note on these, but I figured I would just go through these. Because I know when you have your default Thinkorswim tab, I mean, it just looks bad. And, I mean, I've been using Thinkorswim for years and years, so I've gone through so many customizations and different appearances and looks of the actual software that I don't even remember the default settings, so what these look like or anything. So I'm just kind of just clicking through the basic chart settings tabs so y'all can see what I have set up and if, you know, how different y'all's is. But I know one of the things I really like to do is the synchronized crosshair position. So when you're looking at, you know, these charts, you can really do it makes multiple time frame analysis a lot easier when your crosshair is going through all of time space on your charts. Yeah, so that's basically the video. I hope this helps with y'all's trading. I hope this helps my market recap videos make more sense. And yeah, well, I appreciate y'all watching, and I will talk to y'all later.